television.
It's everything from coastal restoration and environmental restoration to locks and dams. If there's an engineering problem, we're in some way, shape, or form, in many cases, touching it.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers build bridges and dams, and they also dredge harbors and channels.
You may not know that they also keep Mobile's shipping channel to keep the Gulf open and deep enough for ocean-going vessels.
Mobile District Commanding Officer Colonel Jon Chytka recently sat down with our Eric Reynolds to talk about the Corps' mission and how he trained for leadership. Here's the interview.
I would think that the biggest accomplishment being good stewards with the American people's tax dollars, getting the most we possibly can out of what they've given us. That's the one that I'm most proud of.
Colonel Jon Chytka is a commanding officer of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Mobile District. The district includes Alabama, its 4 neighboring states, and south to Central and South America. More than 1,200 civilian and military men and women are under his leadership. Colonel Chytka believes that values he learned years ago helped him become a leader.
My dad, he showed me how important it was to work. He was a tough love man. And my mom, very nurturing. She's a nurse. She also had a great work ethic. She always was very supportive.
His mother planted the idea to consider the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
I thought I was a little bit too open-minded, you know, the discipline and everything else of the military would, I didn't think I would fit in very well. Mom just kind of told me, just look at it, just think about it. I did some reading. All the people, you know, that had gone into the military had been so successful as leaders, people that have gone to West Point. That's really what kind of sold me.
Since 1802, West Point has educated future leaders.
I chose aeronautical engineering in West Point. It's tough. That's a military academy and very disciplined, very rigid. They put a lot of stress on you, certainly because you're going to have a lot of stress when you get out. There's going to be a lot of decisions you have to make, and they're not easy decisions. I had a wonderful experience, but I would not like to have to go through it again. It was one of those life-changing experiences.
Success at West Point allowed Chytka to get the assignment he wanted.
Fort Riley was my #1 choice. A lot of history. 1st Engineer Battalion, it had a number of remarkable leaders, including Robert E. Lee. It's the oldest, most decorated engineer unit in the United States Army.
After Fort Riley in Kansas, Chytka served 2 tours in Paradise.
Honolulu District is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer district that takes care of the Hawaiian Islands, also has Guam, has American Samoa, and supports other districts in the area. Someone has to do those tough yards. I loved it. Any job that you have in the military, it can be a tough assignment. Location always can ease that a little bit. It's a tough assignment in certain ways.
U.S. military engagements in Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan involved the Corps of Engineers and Chytka.
We were the call-forward force in Kuwait, and then we moved into Iraq. A lot of challenging items that it stretched us in supporting different missions. I was the deputy commander for Afghanistan Engineer District North, we call it the bed down, for Afghan forces, both National Police and the National Army. Our piece was helping build the facilities that they were going to occupy.
Colonel Chytka arrived in Mobile a year ago.
Mobile District was my top choice. Great mission. Everything from humanitarian assistance program projects to counter narcotics work. Wonderful reputation of getting things done, getting things accomplished. We try to come up with engineer solutions for the nation. Building civil works, everything from coastal restoration and environmental restoration to locks and dams. If there's an engineering problem, we're in some way, shape, or form, in many cases, touching it gets a national treasure. It builds relationships between nations. We try to be objective. We don't play favorites. We're following the law. We're following the best science. I love what I do. It's the team effort, and I just feel very blessed. This is where I'm supposed to be at this time, with my family and with these wonderful people.
In Mobile, Eric Reynolds, Fox 10 News.
Well, the Colonel is also proud of the Mobile District's record on approving regulatory permits. He says amazingly, in more than 4,000 permits applied for, only one has been denied.
And if you enjoy Lake Claiborne or Seminole or the Coffeyville Lock and Dam, you have him and his comrades to thank for it. Those are just 3 of the nearly 30 lakes and recreational areas built and developed, also maintained by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
All right, coming up